You know, I've been thinking in my life that we need a little more of spontaneity and a little more excitement and joie de vivre. So, if I could say that, right? So, today, Geography 257, I'm going to teach you the lesson that I learned that changed my life up here. Okay? This was a class I took in college. It was a general education class, had nothing to do with my college degree, and it was a general ed. And the whole thesis of this class, which I got to write a paper on, and because I did so well in the paper, I skipped the final exam. So maybe that's why I like it as well, too, was what happens in this world is all this shit gonna hit the fan, and the world stops as we know it, or no matter what situation is something going to happen where we figure something else out, or something just spontaneously happens that we could not have figured out beforehand that it changed and evolved us. Okay, so here's my theory and thoughts on it. So you had to take one of the two approaches. This was the assignment for the paper. I took the approach that we were going to evolve. I don't know. It just felt right. Now, the only caveat on that is like nuclear war, right? Where we're just decimated and we can't live. But even then, I figure there's going to be some roaches or other living creatures that happen and crawl out and evolve. It's going to be a whole mess. So I don't even want to go that way. So let's just say that ends it. But the other way is that things happen in this society and universe that we could have never imagined. When there were horses, became cars, okay? When the cars came in was the Industrial Revolution. Planes, trains, automobiles. Who knew that these big things were going through the sky and taking us from here to here, and then we could lie in bed, and then we could have internet access on a cross-country flight, which I'm waiting to have, and I want to do it in style. You know what I mean? So the evolution of society comes up with things just pop up, kind of like that's coming from my shoulder right now. Hello, look. I have a tree on my shoulder. So, but things just happen. Well, it's not really like that. That moves society forward. And the thing that's happened in the last, let's say 20 years, but is really sped up in the last 10 or 12, is the internet. And there are so many people right now utilizing the internet, not just for fun, not just for posting things like this, also for making money and making a living. I just watched a YouTube video on a guy who goes to Ross Dress for Less. Good name of a good store. So I think it's a good store, but it's definitely my name on a new store, or on a good store. And he goes and he does clothing arbitrage. So he went and shopped for shoes and took down the model numbers and the art numbers and typed it into his eBay app and then decided whether to buy it and resell it. Boy, is that a grind, a job. But I'm like, this guy, he's out of Oregon, near the Hillsboro area, and somewhere around there. And what he does is that's how he goes, and he buys low, sells high, and he makes some money. Arbitrage, right? So I always loved that as a kid. I always loved the thinking that you could take currencies by, when I was a kid, you had the French franc and the Swiss franc and the Deutschmark and everything. I haven't been to Europe since they went to the euro, and boy, do I want to go back. But how cool it was to have those individual currencies. So you came back home with two handfuls of different currencies from around the world. And I think that's a bummer when the euro came, that there's no more French franc. I don't think there is, unless someone else knows something. But anyhow, I digress. So the internet is a way that people are now making livings. Look at the social media that people are doing, using their platform. Then they're selling things. They're affiliates. They have their own products. They're doing ads on their channels, though you have to have a lot of views to make a lot of money for that. And it's just moving us forward in a way that we would have never thought. About... was it 2008, I think it was, where I was walking around La Jolla, California. I took a trip and I tried to live in San Diego, California, and La Jolla is one of the most beautiful places. I just love it. If I ever get that mansion, that $5 million house, when I ever get that mansion, La Jolla is a possible landing spot, so see me there. Anyhow, I was walking around, I'm like, how do people afford all this? Look at all the houses and the condos that are going on in the world. I'm in cities and you're Chicago, you're LA. Those places are expensive. I'm like, how do people afford the rents and the mortgages on these things? And there's just a lot of people making a lot of money in a lot of ways. That the other side of the spectrum is the poverty, the struggle, the heartache, and the grind. And let's not just go for the people who can afford things. Let's lift up the other people in a way that they could at least have a better existence than freaking poverty. I mean, that's some BS. I don't want a dog-eat-dog world, okay? So for everybody who's okay with just the rich and just the poor being scrounging amongst ourselves, no. That is not the society I want. So that's my one political saying for that. I would rather have a much higher elevated level of society where those who do rise and who do work above the crop can have a better life. And even though there's a little bit of a net for that bottom, because we don't want a dog-eat-dog world. We don't want Thunderdome or anything, unless remember that with Tina Turner singing. Those were great costumes and really cool. Remember that look at that angle, that motorbike with the one wheel and the handlebars. That was pretty badass. So wow. So memory lane here. So look at those toys. Anyhow, this is where the world evolves and people are making money. I'm like, how do they do it? And there's a way to make money now with a platform in the internet. So Rod Mackenzie was the instructor, Geography 257. Taught me something in it was a liberal arts gen ed track, and then I had a specialization degree, which I never went into, and that's on me. That's my fault, okay? But this is something that you learn by being a member of a society, of the planet, citizen Earth, that you think about, that expands your horizons, because we're all on this Earth, this one globe, and either you could fight, you could get together, you could live together. Why not default making an activity where we can all live better, present ourselves, live ourselves the best? There's always issues and everything with people. That's just human nature. We weren't all born like in sync. Well, maybe we were born in sync, because that's how the babies are, and that's why they're so fantastic and beautiful, because they're so innocent. And we go through this whole human trajectory of learning who we are and this and that, and it seems like it's a layer, peeling back the layers to get back to who we are originally, as that baby back in their bubble, their fluid, their comfort zone, everything. So anyhow, I am for life evolving and for things that we could not have anticipated 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 30 years ago, getting us to a level of society and how we act and interact. Technology has a lot to do with that, but it's just human innovation and spirit. So that is how one class, a GE class in college that wasn't even part of my specialized degree track, changed my mind and my thinking at college, which was the University of Southern California. So that's a quick shout out to there. So anyhow, this is just a reminder to live life by your own design. This is Ross Cherry, and I want you to take a moment to live life on your own terms. Have a great day.